Terrorist attack claims 6 lives, properties burnt in Katsina community. Grain prices on the decline as bulk purchases subside. NATO calls of strike action allaying fears of fuel shortages. United States urges temporary ceasefire in Israeli-Gaza conflict. Many thanks for joining us on the News Hour tonight. I'm Abdulahi Abdah. We begin in Katsina, where terrorists have attacked Faskari, a community in Faskari local government area of Katsina State, killing 6 people, including the ward head. The assailants, who launched their assault late on Monday night, also burned down 6 houses, 8 motorcycles or commercial vehicles, and several shops in the area. Residents describe the attack as well coordinated with sporadic shooting, while the attackers set ablaze vehicles and shops. The proximity of Nasarawa to the Army Super Camp, established in 2018, raises questions about the effectiveness of security measures in the area. The recent incident adds to the long-standing pattern of violence perpetrated by motorcycle-riding terrorists in the northwestern region of Nigeria, exacerbating an already dire humanitarian crisis. The attackers proceeded to Moigora, which is not far from Nasarawa Faskari, where they also left some residents with gunshot injuries, looted shops, rustled an unspecified number of cows, sheep, goats in the process. Let's get some more insight on this development. Join us now via phone from Katsina is Trust TV's Abdulahi Abdah. Abdulahi Abdah, thank you very much for joining us on the news. Another day, another attack. This has become a daily occurrence in different parts of Katsina. What more have we learned about this attack and the scale of the destruction in the aftermath?
Well, thank you, Abdulahi Abdah. The unfortunate incidences continue to happen almost on a daily basis in Katsina State, like you rightly mentioned. Some residents of Nasarawa Faskari, where the recent incident occurred, said they started screaming for help since around 1 p.m. When they sighted the bandits trying to attack the village. But unfortunately, the hoodlums operated for over an hour without hindrance from either the police or the military super camp, whose proximity from the village is just a few kilometers away, like you rightly mentioned in the introduction. And then the frequency of the attacks in Faskari local government alone is another issue that of concern, especially to residents of the local government and of course Kano State. And this is because even last night after the Nasarawa incidents, like you mentioned, Magura, Ruangodia communities, all in the same Faskari local government, were also attacked almost the same time. And this is happening almost on a daily basis, despite efforts the government is saying it is making to secure the state.
Right.
However, the residents are not unaware of the fact that security is everybody's business, but yet it is the sole responsibility of the federal government to ensure the security of lives and property. As such, most of the local communities we interviewed during today are saying they are too much disconnected, detached to their representatives at the center, calling on them to talk to the federal government, at least to respond to some of these issues so that they can live in peace, because the escalating insecurity in the state is getting out of hand.
Right, and what have the authorities said? Abdulahi Abdah, what have the authorities said in regards to this particular attack? Because as you pointed out, and as we did report in that story, there seemed to be some sort of strategic placement of a military outfit within that particular location, as you did talk about the rampant attacks that have dominated the area over the past few years. What was the response with regards to this lack of, availability of security personnel to repel such an attack?
Well, up to this moment, neither the state government nor the conventional security architecture in the state issued any statement regarding these three attacks in Faskari local government. But one thing everybody needs to understand is that the local communities are not even interested in seeing military personnel sometimes to some extent. They are more of keen to police officers and local vigilante groups that operate in their communities. This is largely due to the fact that on many occasions when they try to reach out to military personnel, instead of them coming, they will be telling them one or two stories which will not be helpful to the communities then. So, in fact, what is happening across the frontline local government areas of Kano State is really worrisome. And the need for collective approach and, of course, holistic approach to rescue the residents of these communities, to secure them so that they can live in peace, to face their other challenges that are available in the country, like what we are facing now, the issue of rising inflation and, of course, consequences of fuel subsidy removal.
Right. Just before we go, Abdulahi Abdah, give us a sense of what you make of the situation. Do you sense that this lack of resistance that the bandits continuously do not face is perhaps encouraging them to keep on attacking on a regular basis?
Well, one of the major issues people are talking about is the inaction of some security personnel, especially the military. In most cases, people do complain that no matter the proximity between where these fearless bandits are launching their attack, when they talk to the military personnel, they will not respond on good time.
Right.
That is number one. Number two, people are so much worried with the escalating attacks, escalating insecurity across Katsina State, because the time at the moment it is a season for irrigation farming everywhere across Katsina State. People want to go to their farms at least to bridge the existing gap of crops, because if you could recall, during rainy season, many farmers were not able to access their farms, and they felt it is now time for them to go to farms, at least produce what they will eat, and then sell the rest for their daily needs.
Right.
But yet, they cannot reach out, they cannot access their farms.
Right.
So it is highly worrisome. People are so much worried.
Okay. Abdulahi Abdah, we're going to have to leave it here for now. Thank you most kindly for the update. And of course, we'll circle back as soon as we learn more on this and many other security developments in Katsina. Abdulahi Abdah.
Thank you, Abdulahi Ahmed. Thank you most sincerely.
All right. Okay. Moving on to other security matters now. The Nigerian Air Force says its troops deployed at Durbunde in Take local government area of Kano State have arrested a 35-year-old high-profile kidnapper named Isah Abdul. A statement by the Nigerian Air Force Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gapquet, says Abdul was arrested on Monday at about 6:30 p.m. in a well-coordinated operation following credible intelligence on the hideout of the notorious kidnapper and his cohorts. He said Isah Abdul and his criminal gang have been responsible for several kidnap incidents in the area. The Air Force spokesperson added that the suspect is currently in the custody of the Nigerian Air Force undergoing interrogation adding that he will soon be handed over to the appropriate authorities for further action. And in Nasarawa State, the police has arrested 109 illegal miners in the state. The State Police Commissioner made this known while parading the suspects in Lafia, the state capital, on Tuesday. Trust TV's Abdulahi sent in this report as presented from our studio.
Operatives of the anti-kidnapping unit of the Nasarawa State Police Command effected the arrest, raiding a Logan Hill in Nasarawa, Igon local government, with a view to arresting suspected kidnappers.
The anti-kidnapping unit of the command, in collaboration with vigilante group from Nasarawa Igon, local government area, engaged a massive raid of some criminal hideouts at Alogani Hills in Nasarawa local government area. They raided from Mada Station to Akama area with a view to arresting suspected kidnappers.
The Commissioner of Police said the suspects are in the command's custody as investigations are ongoing to ascertain their individual level of involvement in the illegal mining for necessary actions. He explained that the command is partnering the state government through the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources to get rid of illegal mining, kidnapping, and other criminal activities, especially at mining communities across the state.
We are going to do more. We will continue to raid all the illegal miners in the state with a view to ensuring that the state move forward.
Earlier, the Nasarawa Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Yakubu Kwanta, said government had initiated a plan to profile artisanal miners in order to legalize their operations as provided by law, to no avail. He commended the state command of the Nigerian police for the arrest, acknowledging that such efforts will go a long way in ensuring responsible mining in the state.
We commend the Nasarawa State Command of the Nigeria Police Force under the leadership of the Commissioner of Police, who has spent most part of his professional development as a senior police officer in the state before attaining his current status, for this diligent operation that has apprehended these illegal artisanal miners in their hundreds.
Kwanta, who said government recognizes the need for the protection of all mining communities in the state. He explained that artisanal miners would be given a second chance if they are ready to operate legally in the various mining fields in the state.
Now, the prices of grains have begun to decline in markets across Taraba State following a slowdown of bulk purchases by big firms and the state government's intervention with the formation of a committee on food security and management. The committee, headed by the Emir of Muri in Jalingo, has been mandated to look into the rising prices of grains across Taraba State with a view to ensuring that they remain within the reach of average citizens. Here's the report.
Prices of grain had skyrocketed in the markets across the state, with some sellers blaming the astronomical increase on bulk buying for commercial purposes. Others blamed some merchants who buy from farmers in large quantities and store to sell at higher prices when the grains become scarce. These activities, when left unchecked, shoot up prices, leaving the average Nigerian incapable of buying for everyday consumption. It is against this backdrop that the state government inaugurated a committee to checkmate the activities of the farmers, marketers, and companies involved in the grain businesses in the state. According to some sellers, the prices of maize, rice, and other grains have reduced by almost 20 to 30,000 per bag since the committee came on board.
Sunana Abubakar Hashidu, ina sai da shinkafa a bakin kasuwa.
We sold rice last week at the rate of 2,300 naira, but right now it has been reduced to 2,000 or 1,900 naira. The reduction in the price of a bag of maize is almost 25 to 30,000 naira. We as retailers cannot cause the price to appreciate.
Some customers said although they have heard that the prices have reduced, the situation according to them remains the same as other items are still expensive.
Still, things are very, very cost, and the mess is 50,000 naira. But I was hearing they said it's 45 by now, 47. You can get it 45, 46, 47. So we are still waiting and see what the market will still.
I don't think so. Like rice, this rice I'm carrying on my head, the cheap one that we do for what we use it to do tuwo. I bought this one 2,500 naira per mudu. So these are 4 mudus on my head. And then for maize, actually I have maize at home, but I learned that a bag is 52,000. So, but I didn't buy it because I have maize at home.
The chairman grains marketers Jalingo Main Market, Yusuf Usman Nadalu, expressed dissatisfaction with the committee's order restricting the transportation of grains to other states, saying the move is counterproductive. According to him, since some of the grains like millet, guinea corn, and others were supplied from the neighboring states, stopping the transportation of maize and rice will lead to the scarcity of other grains that are not available in the state. He stressed the need for the government to control prices of other commodities in the market and not just grains.
The prices of grains like maize and rice have reduced, and the reason is that the government stopped selling the grains to companies. Government should also look for ways to reduce the prices of other commodities. We marketers, we are not happy with the increase in prices, because if we were able to buy a local measure called mudu of rice before, you can hardly get half of that with the same amount you had bought a full one. Stopping companies from bulk buying is not a solution because the companies are helping businessmen here.
They called on the government to ensure that the prices of goods in the market are within the reach of the common man.
Right now, 50 trucks conveying food items out of the country to Niger Republic were intercepted on Monday by the Zamfara State Transport Agency. The agency, which was enforcing a presidential directive meant to address the food crisis and hoarding, grounded the trucks loaded with assorted grains. Confirming the interception of the 50 trucks in Zamfara, local sources in Zurmi town or Zurmi local government area say on Monday the vehicles were stopped at Gidanjaja village, close to the Nigerian border with Niger Republic. On Sunday, the Nigeria Customs Service says it stopped 15 trailers conveying food items through the Sokoto borders to Niger Republic. Fish is one of the primary sources of protein consumed by millions of people across Nigeria. Despite its popularity and availability, the prices of fish in the market have experienced a sharp increase, leading to a decrease in customer patronage due to inflation. Victoria Tokolo sent in this report from Lagos on the situation of the prices.
Fish serves as a high-protein, low-fat dietary option, offering a myriad of health benefits. Particularly white-fleshed fish stands out as the leanest source of animal protein, while oily fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which is crucial for heart health. Currently, the cost of fish in the market, especially frozen varieties, has seen a significant price increase, which mirrors the general trend affecting all food products. Specifically, a kilogram of frozen panla fish is now priced at 3,000 naira, while a kilogram of croaker fish is being sold for 4,500. Also, meat which is less commonly consumed by the elderly due to health concerns has also experienced a price hike. The once common 500 naira portion of meat is no longer available, and the 1,000 naira portion now yields merely 3 to 4 pieces.
136,000 naira for one carton of gogoro. Small carton is 36 pieces. It's 80,000 naira. Especially of Kampala. Kampala is too much. I go buy that today, buy 52,000 naira. One carton of fish. One fish is 2,000 naira now.
Before we dey buy Titus maybe 15,000. Now Titus is 110. 110. Hotel now is 50,000 plus. What happened? To buy fish, to selling market, to eating market, to the eating fish now is problem.
Market don't cost too much. Anybody don't see money carry go for one pikin. Shall I go to? I sell me. Money no reach. Wetin I wan do? Any customer no dey come again. Meet 1,000, they don't reach everything.
Currently, there is a noticeable preference for fish over meat, particularly among the elderly population. Nigerian citizens who favor fish over meat have highlighted the challenges they face when purchasing a kilogram of fish.
It's 3,000
4,000, 4,000. Everything is too cost. All leather, I beg you, dear God.
What we bought by 600, 1,000, only 1,500.
Although fish remains a widely recognized and healthy food option, consumers are however finding it increasingly challenging to afford it due to rising prices. They are urging the Nigerian government to address the issue and make fish more accessible and affordable for all.
Commercial motorcyclists in Makodi, the Benue State capital, say their operations have been threatened by the surge in operational costs as well as the cost of buying new motorcycles. According to them, the rise in the price of premium motor spirit has dealt a major blow to their trade, causing some of them to reconsider continuing in the face of the current economic climate. Trust TV's Jimmy Azande reports.
They are everywhere, commercial motorcyclists, popularly called Okada riders. This is because they are one of the commonest means of transportation in Nigeria. Although many do not own motorcycles, they however rely on cyclists as the cheapest and most readily available means of transportation until the fuel subsidy removal. Today, some car owners have parked their vehicles and resorted to the popular Okada for their intra-state shuttles.
I stay in Makodi for the past 12 years now. The issue of the hike in petrol has affected all sectors of our economy. If you look at, for instance, I do go work with Okada on bike. But the rate at which the Okada charge now is so exorbitant.
The cost of goods and services has hit the motorcycle operators quite hard in Makodi, with the cost of a motorcycle increasing from about 400,000 to between 850,000 and 1.1 million naira. According to the residents, the cost of maintenance has also soared.
The cost of bike now is sold at a rate of 1,50,000, and the maintenance is very high. Like you can see, the engine oil, the parts are very, very high. Like the engine oil is now sold at 3,000 plus, while the parts like the tire is sold at the rate of 25,000, while the sprocket change is 9,000, and the shoe brake is 1,500.
Things don't cost now. The one way they use and they repair my machine now, it hard me sometimes. I do Okada, but to find money, come buy pass, carry person, get the money, come buy pass, they hard me. They carry my fan work, come say abu, get the money, come they buy the pass. Now the thing they tire me now. I want rest for this Okada, this thing.
They are calling on the government and the mega dealers to look into the plight of ordinary Nigerians, whose major source of transportation is a motorcycle.
Yes, like in Makodi, to be precise, the commonest mix of transportation here is motorcycle, because the people in and around this place use motorcycle to convey food produce, and even some use it as means of livelihood. And we really want government to intervene, because the factor that is militating against this cost of this item in the market, they are just man-made. You see, the bourgeoisies will hold the products that they will not really want to release it. In recent time, there is this experience we have that they are holding some products.
Okada business, a major employer of labor in Benue, is threatened if prices continue to soar in the face of the current economic climate in Nigeria. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News.
Association of Road Transport Owners on Tuesday directed its members to immediately resume petroleum loading activities across the country. The national president of NATO, Othman Yusuf, gave the directive after a meeting held in Abuja. The meeting was attended by the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Heineken Lokobiri, with NATO, oil marketers, and the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. NATO had, in a letter dated 15th of February this year, addressed to the General Secretary of the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers and signed by its national president, directed its members to withdraw their trucks from petroleum product loading activities with effect from Monday, 19 February. Now, the association noted that the decision is to withdraw its operations was due to high operational cost in the industry. The association had recently raised concerns over the high cost of diesel required to power its trucks for the transportation of petroleum products across the country. The Deputy Speaker of the Nigerian House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, on Tuesday appealed to Nigerians not to despair in the face of the current economic hardship across the country, but to be resilient and stay determined to overcome the challenges. Speaking at the resumption of plenary, Kalu says while sacrifice is a necessary step towards long-term stability and prosperity of Nigeria, citizens must trust the expertise of those tasked with guiding the economy, even as Nigerians hold them accountable for their actions.
But remember, fellow Nigerians, true progress cannot be achieved solely through policy pronouncements. It requires the collective effort of each and every one of us. Let us rise above petty squabbles and unite in a common purpose. Let us channel our frustration into constructive criticisms, into holding ourselves and our leaders accountable, but always with the betterment of our nation as a guiding star. Let us focus on the broader canvas, on the multitude of measures being taken to address the root causes of inflation, streamlining foreign exchange flows, tackling food shortages, and investing in critical infrastructure. These, coupled with collective spirit of enterprise and perseverance, hold the key to unlocking price stability and economic growth.
In other news, the organized labor in Niger State has announced an indefinite strike effective Wednesday, February 21st. In a letter addressed to the Niger State government through the Office of the Secretary to the State Government and jointly signed by the State Chairman of the NLC, Idris Lafene, and the State Chairman of the TUC, Ibrahim Gana, the organized labor says the industrial action would last until the government resolves all outstanding disputes between the government and the organized labor. The unions had, among other things, asked the state government to reverse all those politically appointed as executive directors of finance, operations, and administration in agencies. The organized labor had also asked the state government to reverse the appointments of chairmen, members, and permanent commissioners of local government service commission and civil service commission, as well as appointments of director generals of some agencies. The organized labor in Niger State, however, warned the state government against appointment of civil servants that are not qualified as permanent secretaries, while asking the government to withdraw the appointment of a vice principal on secondment as permanent secretary to allow for career progression from within the system. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Still to come. It's sweet and good for your health. After the break, we'll tell you more about the phenomenon of sugarcane. More on this after the break. Welcome back to the news. Let's take another look at the headlines. Again, terrorist attack claims 6 lives, properties burnt in Katsina community. Grain prices on the decline as bulk purchases subside. The Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, has appealed to residents across the FCT and Nigerians in general to exercise patience with President Tinubu's administration amidst the prevailing economic hardship in the country. The minister made this appeal while officially flagging off the construction of a 5-kilometer road in Abaji in Abuja. Habibat Ajayi has more.
The flag-off ceremony marks the beginning of the FCT's rural road projects within Abaji Area Council aimed at enhancing infrastructural development in the region. Minister Wike stressed the crucial role of good infrastructure in addressing food insecurity across the country. He explained that the project aimed to improve transportation within the community, stimulate economic activities, and enhance the overall quality of life for Abaji residents.
I will never
associate myself, identify myself with anything that will not work. If I tell you that things will turn around positively, be assured that it will turn around positively. Because for me, the decision taken by Mr. President, yes, may not have materialized as quickly as you want it. But what is important is at the end of the day, will it be fruitful to us? Yes. Are we going to enjoy it? Yes. If you're impatient, you are right to be impatient. If you're impatient, you are right. But it is also in our own position to beg you to say, just be calm. Just be calm. You will repeat.
The chairman of Abaji Area Council expressed gratitude to the minister for the project and called for swift completion of previously abandoned projects.
As our minister embarks on this journey of rural development, I call on all of us to remain united in our determination to see it through to completion. Let us embrace the opportunities that this rural infrastructure will bring, while also being mindful of the responsibility is entailed in terms of environmental sustainability.
The construction of this road will open up several rural communities and improve economic activities, security along the road corridor. We assure the Honorable Minister that STDD will do our best to see to the thorough supervision and complete the delivery of this project on time.
These roads, nominated by each area council, are non-partisan initiatives aimed at delivering tangible results within 1 year. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
To some of the day's other news, the House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill seeking to create state police. The bill, sponsored by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, also seeks to transfer the police from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent legislative list, a move that effectively empowers states to have state-controlled policing.
The establishment of state police has been a subject of controversy and has been advocated for by various regional socio-political organizations and state governors as a viable solution to the escalating security challenges facing the nation. The bill, which is coming in the wake of the rising insecurity in the country, comprises 18 clauses which seeks to amend sections 34, 35, 39, 42, 84 and 89 of the Constitution. Other sections proposed for amendment are sections 129, 153, 197, 214, 215 and 216. Leading the debate on the bill during plenary, Representative Tolani Shagaya said there is an urgent need to decentralize the police to tackle the security challenges in the country. He said the bill will enable recalibration of the National Police Council to include the chairman of the State Police Service Commissions, emphasizing the collaborative and consultative nature of policing.
The establishment of state police is a clarion call for a tailored, community-centric policing system. It is also an acknowledgement that our states are uniquely positioned to address the security challenges within the borders.
Contributing in favor to the debate, some lawmakers said the clamor for state police is long overdue.
Speaker, we have been presenting motions on insecurity on the floor of this House from the beginning of 9th Assembly to date. There was no single week that there was no matter of urgent public importance that has to do with security. The record is there, you can verify.
We should find a way of licensing police. Any state that meets the condition precedent that is formed by maybe the Police Service Commission can apply.
We are now concerned with what is the primary purpose of government: protection of life and property. I believe that is the most important job for all of us that are elected into office.
suggest that we should expunge the word state police into decentralization of the police force for Nigerians to understand and show the structure of operations.
Speaking against the bill, a lawmaker from Katsina State noted that policing is capital intensive, adding that before establishing a state police, there is need to address socio-economic issues in society.
Mr. Speaker, honourable members, as of today, we are a living witness. The federal government is battling on how to fund 300 or 400,000 police force in this country. Some of the states that we are clamoring to establish police states are not even viable economically.
The lawmakers unanimously voted in support of the bill when it was put to a voice vote. The bill was referred to the Committee on Constitutional Review for further inputs.
Staying with developments in the National Assembly at the upper chamber, the Senate has called for a thorough scrutiny of the Ways and Means funds to ascertain if the intervention monies were expended without the knowledge of the Parliament. The call followed a heated debate on the floor of the Nigerian Senate on Tuesday. The report.
Speaking during Tuesday's plenary session, Senator Adamu argued that some state governors, including some retired ones in the Senate, were beneficiaries of 18 billion naira as shock absorber under the Ways and Means since 2015.
Each state government in 2023 was given 18 billion naira at once. Some of the governors that benefited from that 18 billion naira are here.
The Senate President thereafter maintained that owing to the current economic situation, it has become expedient to thoroughly examine the Ways and Means Fund.
Most of those sponsored protests are not aware of the kind of efforts being made by the Senate to tackle the situation, together with the joint management team of the federal government of Nigeria.
Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibrin also explained that the intervention monies were expended without the knowledge of the Parliament, adding that lawmakers have a right to interrogate the expenditure.
So we are open to investigation, and there was a caveat at that time that we're going to investigate, the details must be provided, so we are waiting.
As the issues of whether or not to investigate the matter raised another debate in the red chambers, some lawmakers suggested that a special committee be set up to scrutinize the 30 trillion naira intervention disbursements, some of which were grants, and ways to mop them up.
What this chamber approved was 819, and we said that the other monies that has been spent cumulatively to, was it 20-something trillion? That the details should be provided. It has never been provided to date.
If some people spent money before bringing it to the Parliament for approval or appropriation, where did they get the money they spent? Because they spent money and they came here to look for approval.
For the National Assembly to find out what happened. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, nobody in this chamber should suggest that we shouldn't look to anything that we feel is in the public interest. But let me say this very clearly. What Nigerians want today is food.
The Senate, however, resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the details of the Ways and Means funds, including the various intervention programs such as the Anchor Boroughs program, monies given to state governments, manufacturers, aviation, banks, excess funding in the power sector, among others, which raised the current debt profile of the country.
Now, a general health consultant in Bauchi State has encouraged Nigerians to consume more sugarcane because it contains vital minerals and vitamins that the body requires for healthy living. The physician gave the advice during an interview with Trust TV's Adamu Imam. The report.
For many, taking sugarcane is just to savor its sweetness, as they are unaware of the inherent health benefits. Sugarcane, among other things, improves human tissue and helps to relax and refresh the brain, making it function better. Those who are privileged to know the advantage of taking sugarcane do so often. That is why sugarcane vendors are usually seen moves from one place to another to satisfy the demands of potential customers. We usually sell more during dry season because it is sweeter and the demand is higher. Our suppliers have increased the price to the extent that we barely have up to the 5 bunches we usually buy. I make at least 20,000 naira per day from selling sugarcane. For instance, we buy a big bunch of sugarcane at the rate of 15,000 naira and sell same for 20,000 naira. I like chewing sugarcane because it is sweet, and even medical doctors do advise that sugarcane is beneficial to our body. According to them, it can clean our liver and contains glucose. Dr. Hassan Garba, a general health consultant, emphasized the need for people to wash sugarcane thoroughly and consume without peeling the outer fiber, which according to him is beneficial to the human body.
Like taking cold water maybe from your refrigerator, which you gulp down and rush down fast. And the body doesn't really like that when you rush down cold water. But when you take sugarcane, it is cool, refreshing you right from your mouth, then into your bowel slowly but surely, because the bowel doesn't like you to rush cold water either. And even the brain, if you notice carefully, when you drink a lot of cold water very fast, you get something called brain freeze. Your head will feel dull for some time until your body heats up everything that you've added into it, warms it up into its own temperature before you start to feel better. Sugarcane doesn't do that. And then the entire human body functions as fuel with sugar. And they're giving it sugar as fuel.
Some customers say they always enjoy taking sugarcane to reduce stress as well as an appetizer before the main meal. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Now, the Niger Customs Service has refuted claims of a hike in duties as reported in some quarters, maintaining that no change has been officially made. The National Public Relations Officer of the Niger Customs Service, Abdulahi Abdah, emphasizes during a visit to the headquarters of Media Trust Group in Abuja, while also adding that the service is scaling up its food auctions to address the soaring food prices in the country.
There is a fiscal policy arm of the government and the monetary arm of the government. Now, we are not responsible for determining exchange rate. That is a product of monetary policy. You understand? Now, when you import an item, you said customs duty. We have not increased duty rate on any item. The fiscal policy measure that is enforced has not brought about any increase in rates of customs duty. And that product of fiscal policy is determined by the government and is implemented by the Nigerian Customs Service. As I'm talking to you today, Tuesday, the portal is open. auction.nigeriacustomservice.trade.gov.ng. It is open every Monday, 12 to 6 p.m., the bidding window. Every Nigerian, if you have a TIN number on Tax Pro Max, you can bid for a vehicle of your choice. We are issuing all the food items in our custody, but after they have passed through two things: court condemnation and they are fit and certified for consumption. I've just issued a statement now. The statement is out, and the essence is to at least cushion, to mitigate the suffering, the prices of food items. So we are doing that, and we'll start a pilot test with Lagos, and we are going to do another pilot test with Kano.
Right, time now to bring you more on business developments for today. Here's Yusuf Akogo.
The National Bureau of Statistics has disclosed that 87% of Nigerians within the working age bracket who do not have traditional salary positions have ventured into self-employment as at third quarter of 2023. This marks a marginal decrease from 88% recorded in the second quarter of the same year. The data suggests that a shift in Nigerian labor market, with some self-employed individuals either transitioning to salary roles or facing the unfortunate closure of their enterprises. Additionally, the NBS report highlights a slight uptick in wage employment among working-age Nigerians, climbing to 12.7% in the third quarter from 12% in the preceding quarters. The statistics underscore a critical aspect of Nigeria's labor market dynamics, pointing to a robust inclination towards self-employment amid the challenges of securing salaried positions. The House of Representatives has queried Access Bank, Citibank, Ecobank, and Fidelity Bank over 11.632 trillion revenue collected on behalf of the federal government through the remitter platform between 2015 and 2022 fiscal years. Chairman House Committee on Public Accounts Bamidele Salam issued a query at a resumed investigation hearing on alleged revenue leakages through the remitter platform in Abuja. The investigation also covered non-compliance with standard operating procedures and other allied services agreements. The committee demanded all the agreements signed between all the participating domestic banks and system spec remitter during the period under review. According to the record, Access Bank collected a total sum of 2.661 trillion naira from 3.5 million transactions between 2015 and 2022. Now to food commodities market. United Nations estimate 25 million people in Nigeria, or about 15% of the total population, are food insecure. Let's look at the food commodities for today. We look at the price of grains from Taraba State, talking about eastern part of Nigeria. A bag of 100 kg bag of maize there at a Mehua market in Taraba State is going for between 40,000 and of course 42,000. Millet, 34,000 naira, same at Lao market there in Taraba State. Guinea corn, 100 kg as well at Suntai market is going for 42,000 naira. Soya beans, 100 kg as well at Lao market there is going for 32,000. Paddy rice, local rice, all in Taraba State is going for between 37,000, 80,000, and of course white beans is going for 72,000 naira for 100 kg bag there. Now moving on to the stock market now. The market sustained negative trend on Tuesday as investors take profit on their investment. Indeed, when you invest, you take some profit. Let's look at some of the equities that dragged down the market today. We have the UPD credit down 9.32%. NEM insurance also down 8.63%. Unilever Nigerian PLC also down there 8.48%. And of course, this has dragged down the market to 0.33% over 1,000 basis points to a loss at the end of business today. 253.156 million shares, value at 6.628 billion in a days of 8,783 did exchange hands among investors today. Of course, top trading equities by volume, we have Transcorp leading by 39.748 million shares. I beg your pardon. United Bank for Africa UBA 26.025 million shares, and of course Fidelity Bank 25.477 million shares as well. Of course, we have some equities that recorded marginal gains today. Julie, they've been there for a while, 9.94% again today. Entana Oil 6.17% gain. And of course, Veritas Capital also gained 5.91% indeed. Those are the highlights of the stock trading as it went down this Tuesday on the floor of the Nigerian Exchange Group. Let's look at the stock market in Africa and the rest of the world.
To international news stories now. The United States has vetoed a resolution at the United Nations damning an immediate ceasefire in Gaza after proposing its own draft urging a temporary ceasefire. Now, Washington said the Algerian proposed resolution would, quote, jeopardize talks to end the war. In its own resolution, the United States warned Israel not to invade the city of Rafah. The U.S. has previously avoided the word ceasefire during UN votes on the war, but President Joe Biden has recently made similar comments. Linda Thomas Greenfield, Washington's ambassador to the United Nations, says it was not the right time to call for an immediate ceasefire while negotiations between Hamas and Israel was continuing. 13 countries on the 15-member body backed Algeria's resolution while the UK abstained. The draft resolution proposed by the US calls for a temporary ceasefire as soon as practicable and on the condition that all hostages are released, as well as urging barriers on aid reaching Gaza to be lifted. Now, the 25th edition of IBB Ladies Open has ended in Abuja with a lot of celebrations. Here's Trust TV's Adeni Ajishafe with more on that story.
The three-day golf tournament where lady golfers were honored for competing in the 25th edition came to an end with an evening of celebrations at the IBB Ladies Open award dinner event at the IBB International Golf and Country Club in Abuja, with lots of fun and music to go along with the festivities. Lady Captain Folashade Olateju noted during her keynote address that ladies golf tournament is a celebration of women in sport, a testament to the enduring spirit of competition.
As we gather here, we honor the tradition of these remarkable sports while also embracing the advancement and inclusivity that have made golf a truly global phenomenon.
Even though she was pushed to defend her title, Evelyn Oyome, President, Lady Golf Association of Nigeria, remarked that playing golf is a method for people to support and fellowship with one another.
My short game was a little bit odd today. I find it difficult doing some of my putts, and I told myself what's wrong with me. But when I got to back nine, I told myself I want to be on the green regulation for 2 in a par 4. If I have any mistake, I take my par and go. I want to do on the par 5, I want to be there on 3. And I'll play my part, and that was what makes my game super.
Despite the heat, Uganda lady golfer is thrilled to have won a category.
When we get here, it's too hot, so dealing with the heat on you, you're sweating, even the ears sweat, right? You understand, eh? But then you're like, excuse me, I have to keep my eyes on the ball. But then it's okay. And then the Nigerians are like, mwah.
Team lead, brand management and communications, Media Trust, Benjamin Horn, informed the distinguished guests that Media Trust Group is available to cover events with the team, read, watch and listen, combining all in one place to drive home the broadcast partnership with IBB Ladies Open on all platforms.
If you want to read it, we do have Daily Trust newspaper. If you want to watch it, we do have Trust television. If you want to listen to it, we do have Trust radio, 92.7 FM. If you also want to listen to it again, we do have our podcast shows, Nigeria Ayo, Nigeria Daily, The Bearing, Dagalaraba.
Evelyn Oyome kept her trophy as the overall top grosser as the event came to a close with a prize presentation to winners in several categories, including Ladies Pro Final Round, Veterans, Amateur Open Championship winner, Special Category, and overall winner girls. That's Sport News. I'm Adeniyi Achishafe.
Well, that's all the news we have for you at this hour. Thank you most kindly for joining us. As always, do well to follow us across our social media platforms to catch up with more of our news contents and documentaries. My name is Abdulahi Abdah. For myself and the rest of the team, thank you for watching the News Hour and good night.